Always energetic, life of the party. Always had a smart comment to anything, really.
Everywhere he went, either he was the life of the party, he got attention. I could tell you stories that
the girls would.
Oh my God, the girls.
He was always down for a good time, anything. Riding BMX bikes, doing jumps and stuff. When we got older, cars, trucks, four-wheelers, you name it. I mean, we were always getting into something.
Kind of guy, kind of catch the vibe of however I was feeling, you know? So if like I was having a bad day, and then he's like, yeah, all right, having a bad day, and then he'd fix it somehow.
He could think by himself, you know? He could find something to do. If it was dirt, rocks, or sand, he could play with it.
Yeah.
Mccade was the life of the party. I mean, honestly, I worked with him for 2 summers, sitting in a truck with him every day, and I don't remember one day where he didn't have me laughing so hard that my stomach hurt.
Really, he was one of my funniest friends for sure. But he really genuinely cared about people.
He was a fun little boy. He followed his brothers a lot. They were always on their bikes, and he had to be on their bikes, on his bike too.
Well, the love of snow plowing.
And the love of snow plowing.
Building a plow on his bicycle.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to plow snow.
Built
so
a wooden plow to put on his bicycle. The kid was, well, probably 12 years old when he started plowing snow. That was his passion, was plowing snow.
On Sundays, we'd go to Prox and I'd load up either my little ATV into the back of his truck, his little mud truck, and then go up to Prox, do some wheeling.
Anything with a motor. He loved trucks, getting rowdy, those loud noises, burnouts, and I remember going to my buddy's orchard and he was doing like, he'd go mudding like every couple of weekends.
It was always better to have Mccade around. You know, it's like, if you're gonna go do something fun, he always made it more fun.
To know him was to love him. If you knew Mccade, you just couldn't not love him. That's just how Mccade was. It was just Mccade.
Mason and I had to go drop off, I think it was, one of his plow trucks. And on the way back, we got a call saying Mccade's driving around with a loaded handgun.
We went to go look for him. We called my dad, because my dad goes to bed early. We got him out of bed. He went to my mom's house, and my parents are talking, and Drake and I, we were running all over Ozaukee County, Menominee Falls area. Like, we're checking every spot he'd hang out at, places where he'd, sit and smoke at, like, just where would he be?
But that last hour with him, he was just looking at his phone, not talking much. And he said, all right, guys, I'm gonna head out. That was that, and then my brother gets a call from Mccade's girlfriend saying that, he's got a gun and he's gonna do something stupid.
I got a phone call from a friend of his and said, he's not acting right, and I thought, well, I better get home.
Hour and a half, 2 hours later, we went searching all over the place, and then we got a call when we were in Cedarburg. We found him, but he's unresponsive.
I woke up to a bunch of weird texts, different things, and a funny feeling. And I was working with a couple buddies, and I just had like this weird feeling.
I got to the corner of 40th and Keno, and I looked to the left, and there was his truck. I pulled over and I pulled right up next to it, and I got out of my truck and I looked in his truck, and it was done.
And then I got a call and it told me, God damn it.
was in shock. I thought she was trying to make some sick joke. And as soon as reality hit, I cried like a baby.
I remember Dylan, it was probably, 11 o'clock, midnight at the time. Dylan and Leo come over, and they're bawling their eyes out, and that's when I knew he was gone. And he's like, Mccades gone.
Numb. Don't know what to do.
I pride myself on figuring things out, and I can't see what went wrong.
Didn't believe it. I couldn't believe that Mccade was gone. I was just with him a few hours earlier, and there was just no way, you know?
Yeah, I didn't get any sleep for the next 2 nights. Just at a loss. Didn't know what to think, say, or do.
The weirdest feeling ever. I still obviously can't make sense of it.
It's something no one should ever see, and especially when it's your baby.
I don't know how you process. It's something I never thought I'd have to live through and keep going. I miss him.
It didn't matter what he was going through, but if you were going through something, he was always, trying to talk to you, trying to help you, but he just wouldn't do that for himself.
It's not worth it. He's a young guy. He's smart. He's got so much going for him. And yeah, stuff happens and things get hard, but you got people to talk to. You can get help. There's nothing wrong with that.
He's not there whenever I want to talk to him. Can't go out and go mudding with him or, go drinking, stuff like that.
I meet with these guys at the cemetery. They're bawling their eyes out, man. Like they lost a brother. And they did. They're family. I love those kids.
They say it gets easier, and it does. You don't break down in your car as much, but there's still days. And you wonder, last thing I talked to him about, or, was he acting funny that day the last time I saw him, or, could I have stopped it somehow? Did we do something wrong? If we would have went that way leaving my mom's house to look for him, would we have caught him?
But I prepared for everything, from kids fighting in the street to bike accidents, possibly hit by a car, broken arms, broken legs. Suicide? Never contemplated my whole being. I couldn't imagine the pain to a parent of ever that happening.
How long do you think it took you to really take in everything that had happened and process things?
Still really haven't.
Well, I think it's important to note that suicide loss is complicated. It's complicated grief. There's layers and layers and layers of feelings and emotions that a person goes through, and it's always different. And people grieve differently. I think one of the things that you will find in almost every person who has lost somebody to suicide is that they ask themselves why, and what did I miss, and what could I have done, and what didn't I do. There's not a single cause for suicide. It's a combination of things. Suicide often happens when a person's stressors outweigh their ability to cope. And so helping people understand that suicide is a complex issue, but it's preventable. While we still have so much work to do, the stigma is slowly coming down and decreasing. People will show signs in 3 ways: talk, behavior, and mood. And sometimes it's really subtle. And we're all so busy that we might miss some of those cues. But sudden changes in behavior, staying away from things that they would normally enjoy. I think the important thing is that we just check in on each other, you know, in good times and in bad. And if you notice anything concerning, don't be afraid to just reach out and let the person know that you have noticed and you're concerned.
McCade was known for driving around. My grandmother called it car assing. Other people call it joyriding. Like, you just go drive around town, burning gas, you know. So that's where we got the name the JoyRide. And we're like, let's go joyride around.
If you knew McCade, you knew that he loved trucks, he loved motorcycles, cars, anything loud, fast. I mean, just to see this huge group get together and just be doing burnouts, I mean, just revving their engines, having an awesome ride. I mean, it's what McCade would have wanted. It's what it is McCade, I should say. That's what he was about. I mean, that's.
Last year was a really good turnout for the first year of the car show. So far, both years of the cruise was a really good turnout also.
McCade's JoyRide is it's an annual car show and cruise. We started a car show 2 years ago. We've been doing the JoyRide for 3. Basically, meet up with a bunch of fun people on whatever you got, whether it be a cool Mustang, a Harley, lifted truck, you name it, bring it. We go ride around, go see some scenic country roads, tear it up a little bit.
So knowing that that's going to be the common thing to bring the people together, you know, it's a fun thing to do, get the group of people, and realizing, you know, I think the first year it really was just like, you know, this ride, and let's try to raise some money, whatever. Let's build it into something more. Let's try to raise the awareness. Let's spread the word. Let's get it out to everybody that we can, just so that even the AFSP, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, that gets out to people, you know, because maybe not everybody knows, and you know, it's just spreading that awareness.
And not enough people do know.
Right.
We have trophies in 4 different classes. We have handmade dash plaques.
The JoyRide, for me, is a way to really spread awareness and honor McCade's memory in a way that he would have loved. Bunch of loud bikes, loud trucks, loud cars, all his buddies getting together, having a good old time. That's what he would have wanted. And I feel like that is an awesome way to honor his memory.
It was the one time of the year where I felt like we could all get together and just laugh and, you know, think about the good times instead of just thinking about he's gone.
I think he'd be proud.
Yeah, you know, every year we do this, I honestly think he's up there watching the whole entire show, loving every minute.
Throwing up the deuces, going, hell yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I could sit and mourn and just keep to myself, or I could try to do something to prevent someone else from going through the same pain. Because that's the thing about suicide. It doesn't take the pain away, it just transfers it to someone else. So, if I could do anything to prevent that from happening to anybody, it's worth it.
It's just the thought of not wanting to be alive. That's the first clue to yourself that something's not right.
That's just it. I don't ever want to forget. I don't ever want to forget him, and that never. I don't want to forget him. I don't want anybody to forget him that knew him. He was special. I think he'd be pretty proud. I think he'd be pretty pleased, especially
smiley.
You know, with his brothers and you know, his friends that have.
Yeah.
I think he'd be in awe. Like, wow, they did this for me. You know.
Anyway,
Yeah.
If I was gonna tell anybody who lost someone in a similar way, you know, let him live through you. You know, I was bummed last year I couldn't get a derby car on the track. for 1,000 different reasons. That's why this year I have to get a derby car in the track, and that I know that would make him happy. You know, if he was here, he'd be hanging out and working on the car. And so just let him live through you and keep on moving.
Has anything good ever come out of this? Yeah. I hate to say it. All his friends, and he had tons of friends, oh my God, because of who he was. He was the guy. All his friends are our friends.
Look, you're gonna make it through this. Like, it's all in your head, you know? It's not as bad as you think it is, and there's always help.
If you're struggling, if you're having thoughts of suicide, if your depression or anxiety is regularly interfering with your daily life, it's time to get help. And it's okay to ask. If you have a friend or a loved one or a coworker who you've noticed sudden changes in, don't talk about those changes with your other coworkers or loved ones or friends. Talk directly to the person that you're noticing the changes in. Let them know that you're there for them. Let them know that they can talk to you. Don't be afraid to ask the question, are you thinking about suicide? There's a big myth out there that if you ask that question, it might lead a person to start thinking of suicide if they weren't. But we know from research that that's not true. Letting somebody know that you're there and that they can talk to you can be life-saving.